Recently, Alex decided to give KURA a second stage instead of reworking it. The weapon used to be very bad for its price, but now that price has increased and a second stage was added. The second stage has two modes. The first mode is Greatsword. The Greatsword model is inspired from Cloud's fusion sword from Final Fantasy, and it looks really cool. For the second mode, it's inspired from One Piece from Zoro's 3 sword style. By pressing C, you swap modes and there's a very cool animation to it. Starting off with the Greatsword mode, the click is a cleave which deals bleed damage at close range, but at long range it turns into normal blockable damage. Essentially, you get rewarded for hitting click up close. The cooldown is pretty short and you can spam it very frequently. The first actual ability, that being E, is a swing attack that launches you forward, slashing enemies in your path. This ability has way less downtime, meaning that you can instantly throw out another move at the end of it. If you're using this weapon, then I recommend you abuse the fact that it has no downtime and catch people off guard. The range on this is very big and it's a decent gap closer. Just be careful as you use it because you can get grabbed while the ability is active. Following next, you spin around, building up momentum by using the weight of your weapon and then sweep targets away from you. This ability is slidable as a 1 second knockback and deals good damage. Don't throw this ability out randomly as it does have a wind up, meaning that it can be cancelled through grabs or stuns. On to the final and last ability on the Greatsword mode. You jump, do a front flip and do a massive vertical slash downwards and in front of you. This move has one of the longest stuns out of all the weapons, that being 3 seconds. It's fairly hard to hit, but the reward for hitting it is massive. This deals okay damage on its own, but the abilities that come after hitting it will surely hurt your opponent a lot. Sliding can potentially make this easier to land and make you keep your momentum in fights. The block on the Greatsword mode is default and can be broken. On to the second mode. Due to it being easier to hold the weapon, you dash 25% faster and further. Beforehand, I'd like to say that nearly all of its abilities are inspired from Zoro, a character in the anime series One Piece. The click is a combo string that ends with a slash that deals bleed damage. Each click in the combo string knocks your opponent away slightly, making the combo string possible. The first two attacks deal 10% damage each against a normal target with no resistances. The third attack deals 10% bleed damage. This all adds up to 30% damage in total, 10% of which cannot be blocked and goes to any resistances. The next ability is inspired from Zoro's onigiri technique from One Piece. You dash forward very quickly, cutting through all opponents. This ability is a slight knockback and has a very low cooldown. Hitting this ability will increase the cooldown. The R move is inspired from Zoro's other technique. You send out a quick 3 sword slashes that behave as projectiles. This ability is good for mid-range pressure and a very nice poke tool. It's also slidable. The third move, that being F, you spin around very fast and create a vortex of slashes that remain for 2 seconds. While it's active, you can still dash, block and use other abilities, essentially being able to move stack. This ability deals 15% damage per second and doesn't shred block. In total, it deals 30% damage to a normal target in arena. When you activate this ability, it's highly recommended that you play aggressively so you can get the most out of it. The block on this mode is also default and can be broken. Onto the combos, I'll let the clips speak for themselves. Now that you guys have seen the moves, I'll end the video with a short montage of how KURA2 looks like in combat. Please do keep in mind that the person I'm fighting also is going up against the new KURA stage for the first time.